Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name's Brina. Today I'm going to be doing a little do's and don'ts for eyeshadow for hooded eyes. As you all know, in the world of makeup, there are no rules, but these are my little tips and tricks for people with hooded eyes to make your eyeshadow look better and just make your eyes look brighter and not so hooded. So if some of these tips that I share with you guys today is something that maybe you incorporate into your everyday routine and you love, then by all means keep on doing it. I'm not at all saying that you need to do your eyeshadow exactly like I'm about to tell you, but these are the things that have helped me grow in my journey of makeup, I guess. Obviously, I'm not going to do my eyeshadow the exact same way you do it, and you're not going to do it the exact same way I do it. And that's pretty much all I have to say on that, so let's just get right into the makeup. So right here, I'm just showing you what my eyes look like normally without any makeup on them. Firstly, I'm going to start with the eyebrows, and for the don't side, I'm going to extend the tail end of the brow lower than the rest of the eyebrow, which will enhance the downward shape of my eye, whereas for the do side, I'm going to have the tail end of my brow end at the same height as where the front part of my brow starts. And as you can see here, I am combing the do side hairs upwards, and for the other eye, combing them out. And here I'm just showing you the difference that it makes and how you do the brows. For the do side, I'm going to be taking some Tarte Shape tape and sealer to prime my eyelid, and this is something that you always want to make sure you do, is priming your eyelid, because it helps create a even, flawless base for your eyeshadow, and you'll see the difference that it makes when I don't use any eye primer, like I won't be using on the don't side. On the don't side, I'm starting with a very small pencil brush and taking the transition shade and just starting by applying it directly into my natural eye crease, and this is something that you want to avoid. By placing that transition shade directly into your natural crease, you won't be able to see it at all, as you can see here. And on the other side, I am taking the same exact brush and the same exact shade, and I am placing that directly above where my natural crease is and where you can feel the bone for my eye socket, and that's where I want to start by placing my transition shade, because it will create a faux crease and it just helps make the eye appear brighter and more awake. And as you can also tell with the do side, I am focusing the majority of the product on the outer corner of the eye, the outer half of the eye, and on the don't side, I brought that shade all the way into the inner corner, and that is also something that we want to try to avoid. And now I am using a slightly bigger crease brush that is not so pointed to blend out the outer edges, and this will help make everything seem more seamless. And as you can see, I'm also blending the outer corner upwards. That will also help the eye to appear more awake and lifted. And now I'm showing you once again the crazy difference that even just the tiniest bit of eyeshadow can make. On the don't side, I'm once again going back in with that same pencil brush and taking a slightly deeper shade. I am again following that original crease. I'm bringing that shade all the way into the inner corner. I'm blending the outer edge at a downwards angle following my natural eye shape, and these are all just things that you want to try to avoid if you have hooded eyes. It'll just make you appear more tired and less alert, and it's just not something we want to go for. On the other side, I am still doing the same thing. I'm still taking that same pencil brush, but with this eye, I am being very precise about the amount of product I'm using. I'm using the product very sparingly to start and keeping it on just the outer third of the eye. And once again, making sure that I'm working in upwards blending motions. I'm making sure that on the do side, I keep the darker shades on the outer corner of the eye, because that will, like we've been trying to do this whole time, help with keeping the eye looking brighter and appearing more awake. And now I'm once again taking that slightly larger crease brush and making sure to blend the edges out and upwards, whereas the other eye we just went in with one brush and focused all of the eyeshadow on the natural crease. Now I'm just going back in with a little bit more pigment to really deepen the outer corner of the eye. Now I'm adding a light shimmery color, and as you can see, I'm focusing it on the part of the eyelid that really doesn't have any eyeshadow yet on the don't side. That's going to do is really make the eye look a lot more round, and we're trying to go for more of a cat eye effect on the other side, so I'm placing that shimmery pigment just on the inner corner of the eye. And for the lower lash line, we're going to follow a lot of the same steps as with the top part of the lid. On the don't side, I'm just going to go in with the transition shade all over my lower lash line and really going to smoke that transition shade out. And on the other eye, I'm going to apply that transition shade to the whole lower lash line, but I'm going to focus the majority of the eyeshadow on the outer half of the eye, and I'll bring it down a little bit further there. Then I'm going to go back in with the darker crease shade on the done's eye. I'm going to focus it just on the lash line, but I'm once again going to be bringing the shade all the way to the inner corner. And I'm just going to take that same deeper shade from the crease on the do's eye and focus that solely on the outer half of the lower lash line. And then I'm going to apply a black pencil eyeliner to the waterline on the done's eye, and once again that's just going to make it appear a lot smaller and less awake. And I'm just going to be using a nude eyeliner in the waterline on the other eye. When it comes to highlighting the eye, instead of placing the highlighter all over the brow bone like I'm doing here, I'm bringing it really far down all the way to the eyeshadow. We want to make sure that we keep the highlighter as close to the brow as possible, and it just makes everything look better. And on the do side, I'm going to also be highlighting the inner corner of my eye. Now we're moving on to winged liner, which is my least favorite part. And as you can see on the don't side, I'm going with a very thick and bold wing, and I'm keeping it just as thick over the entire lid as you normally would with this thick of a wing. And that's really going to close the eye off, and it completely erases basically all of the eyeshadow work that we did, because when our eye is open, you will not even be able to see anything other than the winged liner at this point. Like I mentioned, I hate winged liner. For the most part, I think just about every eyeshadow looks good without it, and I can't ever get it to look right on my hooded eyes. So I gave it a few tries here, and it just was not working out for me. So instead of using winged liner today, I'm just going to be taking a tiny smudge brush and some black, and I'm going to smudge out the lash line. One common misconception that a lot of people have, I know I actually did in the past, is that applying mascara only to the upper lashes will make your eye appear bigger and more open, but in reality it just makes your eye look uneven, and your top eye actually looks heavier because the lower part of the eye is not balanced out by that darkness. When it comes to lashes, I don't really feel like any particular style is better suited for hooded eyes, but I'm going to be using two different styles of lashes here, just so that way you can get the feel for what each style of lash will do for a hooded eye. For the don't eye, I'm going to be using the 3D faux mink lashes from LA Colors, and for the do's eye, Ardell Wispies. The difference in these lashes is the LA Colors lash is more of a cat eye lash, and the Ardell Wispies is more of a full lash that's the same length on the inner corner and the outer corner and flares out through the middle. So here's the difference in the two eyes, the finished product. I used the exact same products on each eye. Obviously, I used different lashes on each eye, but other than that, all of the products that I used are exactly the same. That is the difference in what placement does for the eye. And my final tip for you is going to be to always make sure to use a slightly lighter shade of concealer to highlight the under eye. It just makes it look a lot brighter and more awake, and that is obviously what this whole video has been about. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. I really hope to see you all in my next one. Bye!